Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Neal. So, Lewis has actually been in crypto and blockchain for the past 8 years. So, I'd like Lewis to introduce himself first of all, and we're going to talk a bit about what we see some of the challenges in Web3 and security. Can you believe it? Okay, so over to you, Lewis. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me well? Good. All right. So my name is Neal. Like you said, I grew up in North Carolina. I went to one of the largest universities in the U.S. Went to LSU for a full ride scholarship. During that time in college is when I embarked on this cryptocurrency journey. I was the first African American athlete to own a CTA investment firm, basically in the futures and commodities and currency space, basically managing capital for others while I was playing football at LSU. And I got introduced to another asset class during that time, which is around 2013, 2014. And that's how I got, basically introduced to the cryptocurrency space. And from there, it really took off. My junior year in college, that's when I really took off in sports. I led a team in sacks and went to the NFL, played for the largest sports franchise in the world, Dallas Cowboys. And pretty much I met a lot of interesting people. I met Bill Shahara, the owner of Bittrex. I met Brian at Coinbase. Just utilizing the brand as an athlete to open doors, and that's what really pretty much got me a lot of resources in this space because I was always interested, and I learned a lot along the way. I have my own forex brokerage, a lot of different things in this space, so I definitely understand how cryptocurrency exchanges work, DeFi wallets work, and pretty much everything in this industry from a back end perspective, and that's kind of my journey into this space and how I fell into cryptocurrencies, blockchain in general. I'm an innovator. I love innovating on things that revolutionize the world. I see a lot of opportunity in this space, and I feel like I can empower a lot of athletes and also a lot of people using this space.
So, thanks for that, Lewis. As we heard in the last panel with Ken and Saker and the rest of the panel, we were talking about some of the challenges around security in the metaverse, privacy in the metaverse. So what I'd like to do is you to talk about how you perceive some of the limitations from your research and your work and your development, your companies in the past 7 or 8 years, what you see the limitations around Web3 from your perspective, first of all, before we go on to talk about how you're solving that.
Okay, cool. So one of my limitations that I feel like in this space is nothing is easy to use, right? I feel like blockchain is developed by software engineers, for software engineers. A lot of people that I'm like, for an example, I was an NFL player, right? I'm in the locker room with other players, athletes. None of these people understand, how to even download a wallet or buy Bitcoin, right? So, we have to be able to educate, but also make it easy for people to use. From a integration perspective, everything has to be seamlessly integrated. I also feel like you should implement Web3 into things that people use today, instead of trying to make them fully transition to something that they don't know. Because if you implement it into their everyday lives of things that they're using today, I feel like it'll be a much easier transition for a lot of people in this industry, to especially like from a consumer. I look at everything from a consumer perspective, right? So I feel like that's the easiest way for people to, get this transition from Web 2 to Web 3. And then the next limitation I feel like is basically, blockchain security. When you think about blockchain security, the main thing I like to focus on is quantum, because it is real. Quantum computing is real. I spoke to the inventors of RSA security, Shamir, Ronald Rivest, Edelman, and one of their vulnerabilities they said was that RSA stores keys. So as long as keys are stored, these computers can factor numbers simultaneously. So I think that's a huge vulnerability and a limitation. So I think companies need to look to be future proof and not, reactive, but be proactive when it comes to what's coming in the future as far as blockchain security. And pretty much that's the same thing with blockchain, right? It stores keys. So there is a possibility that blockchain can become vulnerable to quantum, but there are companies and technologies that are looking to enhance the blockchain and also modern day security. And then
Good.
hold on, one more thing. So also from a marketing perspective, I think we need to stop, selling pipe dreams, right? When people think about, especially like the people that I hang around, when people think about, Web3, NFTs, people are thinking about how they can be a millionaire overnight. I feel like, the marketing has to be more tailored towards the utility and the use cases, especially for the everyday people. Because right now it's a lot of stuff that's going on. A lot of people follow the hype, like NFTs, for an example. My personal opinion, an NFT is just like a PDF, so it shouldn't have hype around it. It should be something that's used just like how a PDF is used, right? So that's just my thing as far as limitations goes. My three aspects.
Okay, so you've talked about customer experience, you've talked about security, we've talked about quantum and post-quantum protection and what you've done so far. So let's talk about your vision then for what you're going to build that's going to solve some of these problems, or whether it's at the exchange level, whether it's in the security layer, whether it's at the wallet and Web3 and for payments. So what's your vision? How do you see things evolving as far as the next couple of years for yourself in the market?
Okay, so I have two big visions for this industry. One of them is, pretty much from implementation standpoint, implement it in things that we use today. So one big vision, right? If you implement it into things that we use today that people don't even know is being used as a Web3 product, like a lease, for an example. A lease can be held as an NFT, and pretty much, people can go into the app, log in, password, just like they do today, and that lease is an NFT, but it doesn't have to be called an NFT. People can still see their payment history and everything like that. So I think having things implemented into things people use today is one of my biggest visions for this industry, so everything can move forward. You don't necessarily have to call it what it is for it to be what it is. And then my next biggest thing in this industry is, being able to purchase goods and services online, decentralized. So, imagine having Amazon, right, create a DApp so that can connect to any web extension or mobile wallet to where you can confirm a purchase directly instead of having to send it to an address. It makes it more seamlessly and easier for people to purchase goods and services decentralized. So I think having big companies do these things can be next level for this industry. And I know I would use it, right? And then it's just like having a profile at Amazon, and you pretty much got your debit and credit card saved in the back end, right, to go ahead and make a purchase. So I think those type of, those are my biggest visions, because I think if that good and service aspect can be implemented into things that we use every day, I think everybody here will be a user from Web3 perspective, and it'll be a lot easier for people to access this space.
So behind us, Lewis, can you explain what you're seeing here? So this is more about what you've been doing, cryptic, right? So tell us about specifically what you're doing to overcome some of the limitations and what people can expect to see in the near future.
So I started a DeFi wallet company called cryptic.com. So it's a great brand, right? But pretty much, we're a multi-chain wallet, okay? Just like a lot of other wallets. One of the biggest features that we have, that I like to say we're a true multi-chain wallet, because you actually can pretty much access your assets and NFTs without switching networks. I think a lot of new users in the space don't understand how to switch from Binance to Ethereum network and finding this token on this network, and just trying to tell somebody new into the space is just difficult, right? So making it more easy to use is what my focus is, and the security aspect. So basically, anybody, if you storing NFTs on Binance and you storing NFTs on Ethereum, you can see all of your assets without having to switch the network. So that's one of the biggest things that we have. And then also, so it's a company I invested in college called Hypersphere Tech. We have quantum immune data protection. It's pretty much patented technology in the US. Basically, it destroys any numerical value and can rejuvenate it anytime it's needed to be used. So we basically eliminated the need for seed phrases and passwords. So we basically like to focus on, what's being hurt right now. A lot of people lose their passwords. They can't access their wallets. They lose things, right? So it's an option within the wallet where people can quantumize their wallet and basically never have to store seed phrases and passwords. And I can go into a technical aspect of that, but pretty much you will get shadow keys that's not the original data. And anytime you bring those shadow keys together, you can rejuvenate the original data anytime it's needed to be used. So from a quantum perspective, I don't know if this statement is true, but I know, we're probably one of the first DeFi wallets with this type of technology integrated into our wallet. And then we have on and off ramp transactions, buy and sell. directly. You can sell directly within the wallet back to your bank account. We've got 41 states licensed in the U.S. And also every other license in the world, pretty much. And Nestle, that's pretty much it. And one thing I can't really say too much about is that we actually have AR and VR technology to where API to where pretty much you can connect your Web3 wallet via the Oculus headsets or MetaQuest headsets, so people can access their wallets via the AR and VR technology that can basically transform the metaverse space.
So just before we take any questions from the audience, before we finish off, when are you planning to launch this?
60 days.
Okay, so there we go. Just to summarize then, we talked about Lewis introduced himself as being in this space for the last 8 years, moved across from the sports world into the crypto space. Everything's post-quantum ready. Everything's fully regulated and licensed. Crypto on-ramp, off-ramp, and technology which he's going to launch. So I just would like to give an opportunity for anybody before we hand over to the last presentation of the day after this, for any questions from the audience. Anybody got any questions? One question. Can we get this gentleman a microphone, please? Thank you, dear.
Hello. I wanted to ask what are the bricks and what is the wall?
What are the brands?
No, what are the bricks and what is the wall?
I didn't catch the question. I'm sorry for that.
There's something about the last brick in the wall.
Right, that's next, I think.
Okay.
I like that one, though. Show me the last brick in the wall. Good one. I love it.
One big thing for me, though, I'm going to just say this. I want to empower a lot of athletes in this space also because I'm connected to pretty much any major athlete in this space, and I'm the only NFL player doing what I'm doing in this space. So I want to empower a lot of athletes in this space to be able to control their brand and be able to cut out the middleman. I think that's going to be big for the athletic space when it comes to Web3.
Yes, please.
Hello. My name is Nino. I'm an ex-tennis professional. So I was wondering, coming from professional sports, and I'm now also for 6 years full-time into crypto, are there any similarities in being in competitive professional sports and being in professional crypto for you?
Yes, I feel like, especially coming from the sports world, you have a lot of the same traits when it comes to business in general. I look at everything as competition, right? I'm very competitive. I see what a lot of the big brands are doing, and I want to do it a lot better. So I'm very competitive, and I think those same traits comes from sports over to business, because one of my biggest things is I want to do a deal with Jerry Jones in the Cowboys Stadium and take the naming rights of the stadium. So that's one of my biggest goals, right? So I'm a competitive person in this space, and I take those same traits from sports over to crypto, and I really put those same hours in that I had in the sports world into crypto, and that's how I got to where I am now as far as learning, because I don't know everything, but I'm eager to learn, and if I don't know something, I find somebody that do know, and I learn it fast. I can learn something in one day.
Okay, one more question, and then we will.
So what do you think the future looks like for particular moments in sports, like a great goal or a great basket being made into NFTs, like a photograph or a video of that particular amazing moment, an amazing play? And how do you think do you think that could be another revenue stream for professional sportsmen by licensing their image to appear in these NFTs?
Yes, I think that will be. My biggest thing is empowering the athletes. So yes, the corporation can, the entity can, capitalize on this, but I would rather the athlete capitalize on this because, at the end of the day, they're doing the work, and, it gives the ownership to them. So I'd rather them make the majority, like it should be, and that will also, also give them more pay, right, without it coming out of the entity's pocket. So I think, yes, that will transform, but I'd rather it tailor towards more the athlete instead of the actual, team.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's us. We're done. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate that. And we're going to pan back to Ken. Ken's going to introduce Scott, correct? Thank you.
You Scotland? Scotland, let me grab your mic. You got a better mic. Good smile. Get a handshake. There you go. All right.